Welcome to the Inspire Beautiful Team call. It is a Wednesday, April 29th. So excited for this call. We have a guest speaker. I'm sure we're going to have a couple more people hopping on, but I am recording. I am going to just blow through my housekeeping items that I have for you guys today. We do have quite the leaderboard for Success Club this month, so I definitely want to highlight a couple people on there and all of your hard work. And then I'm going to turn it over to Jewel. All right, news and updates. None of this should be new except for maybe the last two items. 10 rounds, obviously that's up and going. BOD groups, we are working through it. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me. I am in a specific 2-star and above group through Beachbody where they're giving tons of updates and whatever, but everybody's experiencing similar kinks, similar issues. We're just going to be very patient. It's going to be interesting to get our May group up and running and see how that all goes, but we're going to do it. Summer Strong sale. I posted about this. Danielle posted about this. $20 off all challenge packs for the month of May. So this will start on Friday, May 1st. It will run through the whole month. Any challenge pack that is above $150, which I think they all are, is $20 off. You guys, Beachbody does this about twice a year. They usually do it in November and then in the spring. Whenever they do this kind of sale promotion, you do not need a promo code. It will just reflect it right away in the cart. I have my highest numbers ever of the month. It's just something about my audience. They hear the word sale and they just want to jump and they just want to bite. And it's incredible. So all those people who have given you objections, make sure that you are going to follow up with them this weekend in May, because this is going to be gold. Beachbody is setting us up to have an incredible pivotal month of May, which our team is set to hit some pretty freaking awesome goals in May. And so really take advantage of this, really lean into this. Do not go about it in an icky, salesy way. If you want to talk to me about how to go about this, I am here for you, girl. But typically it's all just done behind the scenes and you do not talk about pricing until the very end, as always. And it's just like that icing on the cake, that like bonus, like, oh my gosh, I need to tell you this, like we're running this incredible sale. But we can talk more tactics next week on our team call. Mixed Berry Energize is coming May 18th. Again, reminder, if you are running low on any of your things and you need to up your order, do so sooner rather than later. I placed my Energize and Recover package on April 17th, and it just shipped yesterday. And I am like on my last little bit of Energize, and you know how dangerous that can be if you've ever been in that position before. I'm like digging through all my bags in my closet and like my car and like looking for packets because your girl is getting desperate over here. Collagen sale, May 4th through the 11th. I saw this in the office today. This is great. I'm going to be putting this in my newsletter. If you haven't tried collagen, this is a great opportunity for you to try. We obviously always have our coach discount, but your clients may want to try it as well. I put collagen in my shakes every single day. Then I saw in the coach office the Weekender Kit. So the Weekender Kit is $25 for clients, $19 for coaches. I rounded up on those prices. But what it is it's like a little sampler. It's all 3 flavors of Beach Bars, 2 sticks of Energize, a Hydrate, and a Recover. Pretty cool. So if anybody kind of wanted to try out a couple things, you could recommend this to them. If you wanted to gift this or do this as a giveaway at some point, this would be an awesome opportunity. You can read up about it in your coach office. It will be available May 20th. I will start breadcrumbing this to my clients in my newsletter starting this weekend. All right, you guys, this Success Club board, like I am just, this is the best Success Club board we've ever had, and we still have 1 day left in the month. So I'm still expecting some big moves, some big changes, but 54 lives changed. We have impacted 54 people with this gift. That is massive. I've never made a leaderboard like this, and I am just like so freaking proud of you. So, and I have to call it Raging in the Club, and then Almost In. So our Ragers in the club, we've got Katie at 20 and myself at 20. And we've got Kaylin and Kelly at 10. So we are just raging. We're popping all the bottles over there in the club. And then in the club, we've got Brittany with 8, Megan with 6, Sam with 6, and Courtney with 6. And we've got some stars next to Courtney's name because she will be popping Emerald tomorrow, which you know is huge for our team with helping John's account maintain diamond status. And so we are going to celebrate her like crazy tomorrow. So congrats, Courtney. And then almost in the club, we've got Jordan T at 4, Brooke C at 4, Amber at 4. And then we've got Brooklyn, Corinne, Haley, Lexi, Sam W, and at 2. And then Emily is at 1. You guys, there's still plenty of time. Do not think, oh my gosh, there's only one day left. Like, yeah, there is one freaking day left. What can I do with it? Like, let me see this board continue to grow tomorrow so that when I do the final updates, I am going to be like in tears. So super proud of everything that you're doing. I see you showing up so authentically on social media and sharing this gift with the world. And I am a proud mama bear over here. All right, now, so that I can stop talking, we've got Jewel on our call tonight, and Jordan actually brought Jewel to me. Jordan N brought Jewel to me and said, hey, we should have her on a team call. So Jewel's a certified life coach. She uses brain-based coaching for deep and lasting change, helps people foster self-discipline and emotional resilience instead of avoidance, overwhelm, and self-loathing, which I know personally, I have battled all of these at some point in my life, and I'm sure that many of you have as well. So this is just going to be such a powerful call for so many of us, no matter where we are in our lives and where we are in our business. And I always get so excited to hear from people outside of our Beachbody bubble, because whatever, you know, they're going to offer us is just going to be so much value. And of course, Mexican food is her favorite. I just actually had a nice Mexican bowl. You would have loved it. I'll have to have you over for dinner sometime. Loves to roller skate, which is so cool, and obviously loves connecting with people as we all do. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to mute myself and pass it over to you. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Jordan, for hooking this up. I'm so excited. Whenever I get to talk about this, I get so jazzed. It's my favorite thing in the world. Let me make sure. I normally have a presentation that I give, but I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, how do I make this like applicable to, obviously everybody here has a brain. So this is already applicable to everybody. But I was like, how do I really, really like help what these people are, or these ladies are looking for? So I saw at the beginning of the slide that you guys talked about being unattached to the outcome. I think that's so amazing. That's one of the hardest things I've had to learn as well, being an entrepreneur. So today, like what I have prepared for you guys is kind of related to that. So I'm so excited for it because I know you guys all are selling and again doing like the social media thing, and literally had to learn how to do it. Did not know a thing about it myself. So before we begin with that, so there's like 2 parts to this. There's like how to manage your mind 101 and then like clean selling. So for how to manage your mind 101, I see you guys all are like taking notes and stuff, like writing things down. I'm going to start with like an activity to kind of get us started and just to show you like how powerful our brains and our minds really are. With your pen and paper, I want you guys to identify and to write down a limiting belief that you have. Some examples of a limiting belief are, or this may be one that your clients have, is like having a healthy lifestyle can be super hard and painstaking. Or like another example is like, I don't fit in with other girls, don't make good first impressions, I can only make this amount of money, whatever it is. And then when you guys are done, I can put you guys in gallery view. If you guys want to look back up at me so that way I know not to go too fast or too slow. Okay. All right. So getting most people looking back up at me. All right. Now I want you to think about how this limiting belief has held you back so far. So like how has this limiting belief shown up, like even in like your thinking habits? Like what do you think about? How do you feel normally because of this limiting belief? Like feel in your body? What are you doing? What results don't you have? Maybe what results you do have that you don't want to have. Go ahead and write that down. Okay. All right. I love my people that are writing novels because you are just like me. Okay, so now I want you to think about what your life would look like 1 year from now if you held on to that belief. Okay, how would it impact your life 1 year from now? What would you have? What would you not have? How would you feel? Stuff like that. Okay. All right. Now I want you to think about how your life would look like 5 years from now if you held on to that belief. And then real quick when you're done after that, think about 10 years from now. Normally it's kind of hard for us to think about that, but just write a couple things down, even if it's the same result or feelings or actions that are keep showing up. So 5 years from now and 10 years from now. Okay. As you guys are finishing that up, I want you guys to see that with this activity, how much, like I said, limiting belief, and like how much that controls like kind of how we feel and what we do and like what results we get. I want you guys to do this activity later and rewrite it without the belief, like what your life would look like without it. What would you have? What wouldn't you have? So make sure to come back and do this later. But for the sake of time right now, don't worry about it. So beliefs are just thinking habits. It's something that we've thought a lot. It's something that we've felt a lot. So I want you guys to think about this this limiting belief, and realize that it's something that you've gathered a lot of evidence to support, right? Your brain has come up with a ton of evidence to be like, yep, this is so true, stuff like that. To you, it's true, and to you, it's reality, but it's not necessarily true or reality, right? So our brain does this. It kind of gets really good at like thinking something that we've practiced a lot. Because what happens in our brains is it makes like a neural pathway in our brain, and then it gets faster to think this every single time. So every single time you find new evidence for it, your brain's like, oh, shuffled in. And sometimes we're not even aware of it, right? Sometimes this process is unconscious or subconscious. But it doesn't like it. What I'm trying to say is it makes neural pathways in your brain. And through these thinking habits, whether it's subconscious or not, it affects the way we feel in our bodies. So a lot of times when I'm working with clients, they will try to tell me, I feel like I'm a failure, or I feel like life isn't going anywhere. That's not necessarily the feeling, just fun fact for y'all, but it's what they think about themselves. What they're feeling is like the overwhelm or the stuck or the frustration, right? So whether it's like subconscious or not, the way we think and our thinking habits affect the way we feel in our bodies. And this affects everything we do. Like, we love to think that we are logical and rational creatures, but we are totally not. We are completely emotional. Everything we do is based off of how we currently feel in our bodies or how we think it'll make us feel, right? Because like, let's talk about like picking a fight with your partner. You pick a fight with your partner because like something made you think that you're being disrespected. Even if you go back later and you think you're not being disrespected, you felt that way in the moment, so you pick a fight with him or her, right? When it comes to like going to college, we go to college because we think it'll make us feel more stable and secure, but that's not necessarily true, right? We do everything, we make our decisions based off of how we think it'll make us feel or how we currently feel in the moment, which is why these beliefs are so important, because if you're used to thinking something, you're probably used to feeling something as well, right? So all that being said, our brains also are wired for doubt and fear. I hear this talked about a lot, and like, I'm all for it. Like, fear is a big topic on the scene right now, but really, like, the reason why your brain is wired for fear and doubt is because it's trying to keep you safe. Your brain is an old machine. It was made for like prehistoric, primitive times. So your brain thinks that by getting you like in fear or like getting you in like in doubt of something, it's protecting you and it's keeping you in your tribe, keeping you away from getting eaten by tigers and keeping you safe and avoiding this risk, right? This is even why we do a lot of our people-pleasing behaviors. We people-please because sometimes if we think people like us, that means we have a spot in the tribe and we're not going to get and be on our own, right? It's amazing. We do a lot to avoid negative emotion because we think negative emotion, normally it's tied to fear and doubt or helplessness in a way. We think that those feelings or those fears mean that we're going to die. That's not true anymore. We don't have to worry about getting eaten by tigers unless we're the Tiger King. Right? Like, that's not something we have to worry about anymore. So I want you guys to see and almost be like grateful for that primitive part of you, because that's the reason why we are all here on this call right now, is because our ancestors had these primitive thinking patterns. But as you guys can see, it doesn't really help us with modern society when we need to go like feel the risk and do it.
Am I frozen or is she frozen? Okay. I'm assuming she's probably gonna hop back on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you are.
Did you guys hear me? It looked like you guys were frozen.
Nope, you were frozen. We lost you for a minute. Oh. Are you there?
I am. Are you guys here?
Okay, yes. You're good now.
Hello? Okay.
You're good.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah,
okay.
You're good.
All right, my internet just went out. What was the last thing you heard?
I was literally writing down that we don't need our ancestors anymore, and that like primitive brain, like we no longer need it because we need to step out of our comfort zones.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we we don't need these primitive thinking patterns anymore, but we can be grateful for them because it's the reason why we're here, and they have protected us, and that's all your brain is trying to do, is protect you and keep you like saving energy and not like wasting it doing things, and to keep you safe, and to keep you avoiding like pain, right? That's really what your brain's trying to do. But again, we don't really need that anymore because everything we want in life involves us like facing a doubt or a risk, right? It also, I want to point this out to you as well. It's also, we have to risk willing to feel something. So this was something I had such a powerful talk with a client today about, is that the worst thing that can happen to everybody on this call, besides physical pain or death, the worst thing that can happen to you is you feel something. So most of the time when you guys are fearing failing, or you're fearing being humiliated or whatever it is, it's because you're fearing the feeling along with it, right? So once that kind of like sinks in, you kind of realize that like, well, what the hell am I so scared about? Because like I can feel shit. I felt horrible things before. Like I can feel something in my body. That's fine. Okay. So another thing, and I've kind of touched on this, but I want to make sure I really run it home. Your brain is very evidence-based. Again, your brain in its own inefficient for modern society, but efficient for primitive society way, your brain is trying to remember similar events and remember things that have happened so it can recognize events in the future and like be efficient and keep you safe. So even if you were embarrassed, like public speaking in second grade, like you could still get nervous, like to public speak. And it's because your brain is like, oh shit, like something is wrong right now. Like we're about to feel nervousness or whatever. Like you probably shouldn't do this. So your brain is very evidence-based. That being said, whenever you go to make a decision, your brain is going to want to make a decision based off of what is and what was, right? So like what is and what was, and not what's possible. Your brain doesn't know what's possible yet. Like you might, but like your primitive brain doesn't really believe that yet. So again, I want to make sure I like run this home. So like if you guys are working with somebody who's like, I don't believe it's possible for me to get results with Beachbody, it's because their brain is thinking about how they don't have results right now. And it's because it's thinking about how they have tried so many other things and they haven't worked. Right? So what makes them think that it could be possible now? Right? I get this a lot on people that sign up with me to do calls. I always tell them at the end of the call after they say yes, I'm like, okay, you made a decision based off of what is possible. Your brain's going to try to talk you out of it. And sometimes when I get to the first session, they're like, you were exactly right. That is exactly what happened. My brain was like, how am I going to get results with this girl? So it's totally normal. And again, it's your brain trying to protect you because fear and doubt. Okay. So, and I love that you guys are already talking about being unattached to the outcome, because that was like such a big shift for me. But I want to talk about like clean selling in a way with all of you and kind of like the mindset behind clean selling. So we've all talked about, or I'm sure you guys have talked about like graspy energy. Like I'm sure you guys have walked into a store and like somebody has been like, okay, like please come here, like I can help you. They're trying to get that commission, right? And that feels awful to us. We are like, nope, we don't want to be sold to, right? So I want you guys to think like what's going in your mind when you're feeling graspy. Like first of all, how does it feel? Like an icky car salesman. Yeah, exactly. But how does it feel in your body when you're graspy? Okay, you guys are moving. I'm assuming we're good. Don't know what's going on with my internet. Anyway, so
you froze for a second, came back, but you're good now.
I did. Yeah, I'm literally. It's windy outside. I don't know what's going on.
It's really windy today. It's really bad.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on.
You're good.
Okay. All right. So think about how graspiness like feels in your body. It's kind of like an anxiety. Like the thought that is triggering that feeling in your body is something like, I need to make money now. Like I need to do this now. Like there's an urgency to this, like, right? Like that kind of energy. And that thought again goes back to like the fear of like not getting that money. Like, cause then what does that mean? Right. But having graspy energy normally turns people off of us. I see this also happening a lot with like being entitled. I felt this way when I first started posting my life coaching stuff, and I was like, why aren't people listening to me? Like, come on, like my stuff is so good. Like I've gotten all this training, right? Like you guys are probably feeling that at some point too, where you don't get as many likes on a post, or not that many people go to like an online event that you're hosting, whatever. So I want you to think about like, what are the actual thoughts that you are thinking when you're feeling entitled? Like how that feels in your body, and like, what are you thinking about, right? Like we try to justify, like entitlement is just a way for us to try to justify our graspiness, but really it's just graspiness. And it's still like shows up in the world in a way, because the way we feel drives our actions. It has us showing up in a way that creates like an unsettling marketing, like an angry marketing, like a slight undertone of that, right? Okay. Now, I know I've done this as well, so I'm assuming some of y'all have as well, that when you like work, and you hustle and you're like staying consistent, and then all of a sudden you're just like burnt out, you're done, you just like Netflix, you just want to avoid it at all times. That's because like at that point in time, what happened is like you ran out of like urgency or almost like graspy energy, and then you got like right back into your lack of belief. Okay, you got right back into that doubt and that fear is basically what's happening. So I want you guys also to see that urgency feeling isn't sustainable. And again, all of these things that I've described, like this graspiness, this entitlement, the hustling, and then burning out, like all of that comes from lack of belief that you are going to get the results that you want, lack of belief that you can do it. And your clients are having this as well. So as you're working on your own belief, like I want you guys to like have your clients in mind. So the kind of stories that really like get people engaged are stories that make people believe in your product, believe in you, believe in themselves, like show that they can do it too, it's possible for them, believe in themselves, and inspire them to take action, right? And the more you do that, and the more like you bring up that feeling of like inspiration within yourself, it's gonna show up like in the way you market, in the way you talk to your clients, in the way you talk to potential clients, right? Inspired people inspire people, right? And that's all that being said, it doesn't matter if you still have doubts or fears, that's normal. If we ID them and we like talk ourselves through them and we let ourselves feel the emotion, that's fine, right? I'm not saying you should always be inspired all the time, and I don't want you guys to start shaming yourselves if you aren't. But I'm just saying, if you're going to write a post, if you're going to do a live, if you're going to talk to a potential client or at a networking event, try to get yourself in the place of just feeling inspired, believing in your product, believing in you, believing in them, that they can do it, even if it's someone you don't like. And then like inspiring them to take action, like now is the best time, right? Okay, and then the last thing I want to say for that is I want to put an emphasis, and I know being in MLM, you guys talk a lot about building relationships. And I think that's like such a beautiful way to market. But I also want you guys to think about like creating a positive buying experience. This is just like I guess a little nugget, nothing really with your brain except it's fun. But creating a positive buying experience, I'm not sure what you guys do, but I know myself, like once my clients finish their first when they finish their first step, why can't I talk? when they finish their first session, I send them like a congratulations email and like just like a little like nugget of like, dude, you got this. I believe in you. And then when they finish their first month, I do the same thing halfway through and at the end. Just like, and that's it. I don't do it on the calls because I don't judge my clients positively or negatively on the calls, but just to give them going and create that like positive buying experience. Now, based on everything I've kind of run through real quickly for you guys, I want to give you guys a couple action steps that you can do. So I want you guys to think about powerful questions that you can ask yourselves based on all the things that I've talked about. So an example of this is like for me, at one point I was like, I need to get consults. I need to get people on the phone. I need to like show them how I can walk them through their before and after process of their brain. Like, how do I do that? And I was graspy for it. I just wanted consults. And then I literally, like, one of the best shifts for me was just to switch it to, well, why do people sign up for a consult? Literally changed everything. I had 4. And I had 4 in the next week. It was honestly bizarre. And so I want to like challenge you guys to do that for yourselves. If you notice that you're kind of getting bogged down by a way of thinking, question it and find a different question. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I want to make sure I answer some questions. So if you guys have them, so let me know. I will look in the chat box as well.
That was amazing. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat and I can field them for Jewel. But I think everything that you went through today just aligns so well with our team, with our like field of work, because like we're so like in that mindset of not letting our limiting beliefs hold us back. And like, like your whole like first part of this, like managing your mind and your limiting beliefs. I mean, I literally wrote down 2 limiting beliefs about me as a leader and like recruiting. And then like, as you start to trickle into 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I had it all the way down to affecting my marriage, simply based on my belief of recruiting and my future kids in daycare. Like I'm not even a mom, like, and missing out on life's important moments, and John and I not having a good marriage. Because like, if I let myself be hindered by these limiting beliefs, I know what a domino effect it's going to be in the rest of my life. And that's why, you guys, like this mind work, and we do so much with personal development, is so huge. So I absolutely love that so much. And then too, like with clean selling, like you have to be product of the product, and like the graspy energy, it's like, don't be salesy. If you believe in you and you believe in your product, like you will never come across as salesy and icky. But like that powerful question, always that we have to ask ourselves, would you join you? Would you join you? What would make you say yes to you? Are you showing up as the best version of you that would make somebody join you? You know, that's that gut check. And it's not a bad thing to have to do gut checks. I do gut checks to myself every single day. And I've been at this for over 3 years. 2 days ago, John and I were on a walk, and I told him I was so scared to take my progress photos after 80-day obsession yesterday. I was so scared. I was so scared that the results were not going to live up to what other people were expecting. And that's that whole fear of feeling and fear of what other people thought. And if I would have let those limiting beliefs hold me back, I literally just had like 7 sales within 24 hours, you guys. Like my business is like, it's insane right now. But if I would have let any of those thoughts and fears hold me back, like I'm so glad that I step outside of my comfort zone every single day. And it doesn't get easier. You just get mentally stronger. So I can ramble forever, but I have a personal question. Do you read like personal development books, mindset books, or have podcasts that you love?
Yeah, I do. I'm just going to be really frank with all of you. I think a lot of self-improvement books, they inspire people because it's about people's journeys, and they give them, there's lots of like nuggets of gold, but honestly, a lot of them are like rules to live your life by. And some of you might disagree with me, but I don't think that's necessarily true. If something doesn't involve mindset, I would kind of honestly avoid it. And the reason is because mindset is everything. It doesn't matter like what rule you apply or what system you use. If like the mindset's not there, it's gonna fall short. Your primitive brain's gonna take over. I like just want to make sure I stress that because, and that even goes for a coach. There's a lot of different other coaches out there that can help you with your specific problem. If you're looking for that, coaching is one of the best things to do because they point out things that you don't notice. I got my ass coached so hard yesterday. It was crazy. But that being said, like make sure they deal with mindset. Mindset's got to be involved in some of that, and learning how to like about managing your emotions and managing your mind, and that skill, like that's really like going to take you so far. But yes, podcast. I am getting certified with the Life Coach School right now. So I would recommend their podcast. It's been literally like such a game changer for me. I'm assuming all of you would really like it as well. They're really easy to listen to and they really blow your mind. And then besides that, a book I would recommend is Loving What Is by Byron Katie. The main coaching tool that I use comes from that book. Like it's inspired by that book. So I would recommend that as well.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I read these. If I missed your question.
We always blow up the chat.
Yeah, I love it. Even while you were talking, they're like so excited. It's so fun.
Yeah, the chat was actually more quiet today. I think we were all just like honed in on what you were saying. But to avoid hustle and burnout and fear, how do we channel our energy to keep it consistent without the burnout and the quit?
Yes. Okay. So there's a couple things, and I actually, oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about this. So when you're feeling something, or when you're like, we can spin on overwhelm forever. Like that's not necessarily an emotion that needs to be processed, because it's just a resistance to feeling something else, right? Like that something else, like panic or devastation or humiliation, like emotions like that. When we're spinning on overwhelm, it's because we're in fear of feeling something like that. But I would literally just get aware of what you're thinking and just get interested in what you're thinking. So I always tell my people to do what's called a thought download. If you like journaling, this is way up your alley. But it's where you just like list your thoughts and just like list them until you're like that emotion in your body kind of like washes away. It'll allow you to get curious about what you're thinking, but not avoid it and start Netflixing. At the same time as well, like for managing your energy with it. It becomes a habit because again, you have these neural pathways in your brain that are creating how you feel. So bringing up feelings, like I call it to my clients like rampages of passion, and I do it because I have ADHD and it's so hard for me to focus and get things done. So I have to do it sometimes a couple times a day. My clients can do it like twice a week, it'd be fine. But nonetheless, it's where I just like list like a ton of reasons that make me feel like crazy passionate or inspired. Again, you can do that again before you go into a networking event or before you write a post. It'll be so much easier to get work done for you guys by doing it when you feel that way. So did that answer it? I kind of went off on a bunch of different directions.
That's great. I love your little coin terms, like graspiness and like rampage of passion. Like these are gold.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. Do you guys have any thoughts or questions that you guys want to ask? Jewel actually provided, she emailed me. I haven't shared it with you guys yet because I wanted to have the call. Jewel, if I share my screen and share that, can you kind of walk us through your PDF?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Okay, can you guys see that?
Okay. Yeah, so what I made for you guys is like what I call the productivity mindset. So I'm not going to like get into in depth with it, but this page right here is just like kind of how to like stir up that feeling in yourself, like the feeling I was talking about with the rampage of passion, and like different things to be wary about. Like your mind is sneaky, so it kind of talks about how to actually create that feeling. And then with the next page, I put like scrap your to-do lists. I know some of you are probably big to-do list fans, and you guys, I was so attached to my to-do list. Like I feel you, I really do. But they actually cause you most of the time to feel more overwhelmed than they actually do you good. So here I have a method for you guys. About like how to, like, it's called like a brain dump, like listing everything you have to do, the time required. And then the next page is just about scheduling it and prioritizing and scheduling it. That way you make sure it gets done, and then you can like learn how to manage your mind to actually follow through with it. So there's that as well. Creating a focus plan. Again, I have ADHD, so this is like my jam. But if you have like a big project to do, I really highly recommend doing the focus plan, especially for my people out there like me that have a hard time focusing. That is for you. And then on the last page, I just have a couple techniques for you guys that kind of help you stay focused. Like the first one is like doing 25 minutes on and then like 5 minutes off. Again, like you can do it with a timer or something, but like I would really recommend doing like a rampage of passion, 25-minute timer, 5-minute off, and then so on. Like you guys, I get so much more done when I do it. And I always know like when I don't, I've noticed when I don't do it that it's just kind of difficult. And then, timer's the best motivator. Oh, you're fine. Oh, yeah.
Oh, here, got it back. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. And then the last thing is called Start with the Frog, and like get like your thing that you don't want to do really, like that you're either dreading or like it's kind of big and takes up like a lot of your time. Like get that done first thing you can. It's going to be easier to do it then with your brain and everything. But even if it's like making a dentist appointment, I don't like talking on the phone, so that would probably be mine, but just do that first.
Well, and like I think I might butcher his name, this might be totally wrong, but Brian Tracy, his book Eat the Frog, it tells you like it's that whole message in a whole book. So like if you find yourself putting off that thing that you need to do, for us it would be inviting. That might be a really good personal development book for you to read about the mindset of eating that frog. And you guys know I'm a huge proponent of using timers as well, to knock off tasks. That's why in our business activity tracker there's times attached to everything. So use the timers. I will upload that into our team page with the recording tonight. And if there are no more questions,
I do want to say, you guys, before I kind of take off, next week I'm having like a webinar. It's like a class, but I'm doing a class on how to improve your relationships. So if you guys are struggling with the people in your house, or you just want to have better relationships, I really would love to see you guys there. In order to get the Zoom link for that class, just Venmo me. I can send my information to you. Just Venmo me $10 or more. I'm donating all of that money to COVID relief.
I love it.
So I would love to see you guys there. But
yeah, definitely shoot me over all that info for your webinar and all that, and I can pass it along to the team. That's amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I'm going to stop the recording. Before you hop off, we